Yes, the sneaker that you saw in the thumbnail is actually a real shoe, and in today's video, we're gonna unbox it. What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler, and today I'm unboxing the MSCHF Tyga Wavy Baby. So inside this box, there's a pair of shoes that is unlike any other pair of shoes I've ever seen in my entire life. It's ridiculous, it's crazy, it's probably more of a marketing stunt than an actual sneaker, but at the same time, it's real and you can wear it. And also, I've gotta say that this box is ridiculously heavy too. I didn't expect that when I picked it up. Man, it's a heavy box. So this sneaker is a collaboration between the brand MSCHF and the artist Tyga. MSCHF releases periodically new sneakers that are kind of more insane than anything else, and this is definitely one of those sneakers, and this time around, like I said, they're collaborating with Tyga to create possibly the waviest sneaker of all time, and I mean that literally. Like when I first saw this shoe, I thought I was like looking into a Photoshop filter. I didn't realize that the thing I was looking at was real. It's crazy. So before we actually get into the sneakers themselves, we gotta take a quick look at the box. This box is obviously based on a pretty well-known skateboarding shoe box. It comes in this like sort of red color that's printed onto this natural cardboard. You've got a Wavy Baby on the top because the shoe is called Wavy Baby, so it makes sense. And apparently I got a size 8, which is not my true size, but at the same time this shoe might fit weird because once you see it you'll understand. So I'm just going with whichever size they sent me and hopefully it fits. So huge thank you to MSCHF for sending these shoes out early. I really appreciate it. So why don't we pop the top on this box and see what we've got. Here we go. So first thing inside the box, we've got a card with a picture of what seems to be a severed foot. And then on the back, it says @MSCHF, @Tyga. Let's take a look at the sneakers. Ridiculous. I don't even know what to think of these. So right off the bat, first impression, these are heavy, which makes sense because this midsole is ridiculously thick. That's crazy. And I mean, literally, the shoe is wavy. Like, I've never seen anything like that in my entire life. And also, now that I'm looking at the bottom of the shoe, it has this this sticker on the bottom that says, "Warning, extremely wavy. By placing your foot in this shoe, you agree to waive any claims against MSCHF for any injury, death, or damages arising from having your foot in this shoe. By placing your foot in this shoe, you also agree to assume all risk of injury arising from having your foot in this shoe." That's ridiculous. And then it shows a dude walking down some steps and tripping. Because, I mean, I feel like this could literally get caught in steps. There's a lot of things I want to do in this shoe. I don't skateboard, but I wonder what it's like to skate in this shoe. So obviously this shoe features that sort of skate shoe vibe, except it's a little bit wavified, which I actually kind of dig. This is definitely the most unique sneaker that I've seen all year, and we've seen some pretty crazy sneakers already in 2022. Let me pull out the other side of the pair. Here we go. Very nice. Now my question is the inside of the shoe just as wavy, or is the midsole just super thick and compensates that way? Let's see. No, it just seems like you've got a regular inside of the shoe, like a regular footbed. So your foot is just kind of sitting on top of these waves, but it doesn't have to like partake in the waviness. Like your foot doesn't kind of fall into these cracks. It just kind of sits on top of them, which is nice. Which means that this midsole is incredibly thick, thicker than I originally thought, and that's why it's so heavy. So as you can tell, the upper of the shoe comes in a black canvas material. You've got suedes on the toe and on the heel. You've got this really nice tumbled leather wave, I guess is what it is, in white. And also the stitching details are wavy as well, which I think is pretty cool. It's literally like they took a skate shoe, put it in Photoshop, and then wavified it and then made that thing a reality, which I think is actually probably exactly what they did in order to come up with this design, which is pretty crazy. It looks like you've got standard flat white laces, and then moving inside the shoe, you've got a black leather sock liner as well as a canvas insole that says MSCHF Wavy. Now, I've got to be honest, I've been looking forward to try these shoes on ever since I first heard about them coming out. I wanted to know how they felt on foot, so what we're gonna do is throw these on foot, take some on foot shots, see how they feel, and I'll come back and let you guys know generally my thoughts on these shoes. Before we throw these on, let me peel this tag off really quick. There we go. Alright, so that was just as weird of an experience as I was expecting. So this shoe is noticeably heavy on foot, which makes sense because this midsole is ridiculous. I kind of want to weigh it, and maybe I'll throw the weight up on screen really quick, but this is not a light sneaker, and you notice it while you're walking. Obviously, this wavy design causes some problems when you're walking, which is why they had that sort of that sticker that told you all the things that you can't sue them for. I noticed that when I was walking up and down steps, if you stepped wrong, you could get stuck on the edge of the step, which, you know, makes a lot of sense because the shoe looks like this. But even though this isn't the most practical shoe in the world, I mean, obviously, at the same time, this shoe is insane looking. And I think for a lot of people who are going for that high fashion look, or even for just a shoe that no one else has, this is not a bad way to go. Now, if you want to grab a pair of these, they drop on April 18th for $220 only on the MSCHF Sneakers app. Actually, speaking of the app, it looks like MSCHF has created their own version of the Sneakers app. That's where you grab all the sneakers that they're dropping, you can look at all the previous sneaker drops that they've had, and you can do some cool things like change the size of your foot. And so when you buy the sneaker, rather than having to select your size at checkout, it's already selected and you can check out much faster. Now, it's possible that in upcoming MSCHF drops, they could drop something more insane. I mean, we've had some pretty insane MSCHF drops so far, but in my opinion, this is my favorite because visually, it's the most out there MSCHF sneaker I think I've ever seen, or really most other sneakers that I've ever seen. And as a designer, as someone who's worked in industrial design and had things manufactured, my mind is kind of blown at how they made this midsole. Like, this was probably not cheap to make, and was probably just a huge pain in the butt for the factories. So the shoe is designed to look like it has a vulcanized midsole, which is essentially a piece of rubber that's wrapped around the shoe and then cut off at the bottom. You've probably seen those TikToks of people like cutting off the extra vulcanized rubber on the outside of the shoe. But I don't think it is, because I can't see any way that they could actually do that same process with this shape of shoe. I'm assuming they actually had to mold this midsole, and that's probably why it's so much heavier than a standard pair of vulcanized midsole shoes. But again, I'm impressed. Like, this is something that really catches people's attention, and honestly, for a shoe that's designed to be as crazy as possible, this is something that I could actually see myself wearing. Not on a regular basis, get that out there first, but something that if I really wanted to blow people's minds, this is something that I would wear. I mean, it's wild, and I think there's a lot of really cool Instagram opportunities that you could have with this shoe. And let's be real, if you're trying to have the waviest picture possible, you don't even have to use Photoshop for that. You don't even have to use a filter. You got it right here. Real life waviness. As far as sizing, this shoe does seem to fit a little bit big. Like I said, they sent me a size 8. I'm a size 9. I was wondering why that was, and it's because this shoe fits big. So if you're grabbing a pair of these, probably go up a half size or a whole size. So based on my own personal experience, which may differ from yours, this shoe did fit me a full size big. Interestingly enough, this shoe is not uncomfortable. For a shoe that looks like this, you'd think it would be very stiff, and to be fair, it is very stiff, but the underfoot comfort is not bad. The insole of the shoe is relatively well padded. I think it's actually glued down, so I can't pull it out to show you, but it's got some nice foam in there, so it's not uncomfortable by any stretch of the imagination. I will say that this is not anywhere close to as soft as some of the other modern athletic shoes that are out there on the market, but it's definitely wearable, and it's something that, you know, you might not want to wear all day just because of the hazard of the waves. At the same time, though, you won't be uncomfortable at the end of the day. The upper of the shoe is pretty standard. It's pretty much what you see is what you get. It's a canvas upper with a leather accent on the side. Of course, it's a suede. They don't really add to the structural integrity of the shoe at all, but they feel just like any other canvas shoe on the market, which is totally fine. And it's crazy because I didn't know what to expect when this package showed up, but it genuinely surpassed my expectations, and in a good way. I genuinely like this shoe. It's not something I'm going to wear a lot, but I'll put it on a shelf. I'll enjoy it visually, and then whenever I want to go somewhere that I want to wear the most ridiculous shoes, this is the pair that I'll be rocking. So I'm just noticing on the heel of the shoe, you've got the Wavy Baby logo right there, which is a pretty wild logo. I thought it was only on the box, but it's apparently also on the shoe in the way of that tag. So I guess overall, this shoe is probably not the most functional shoe in the world. I mean, you could walk in it, so it's functional in that way, but it's probably not the best for really anything else. This shoe is obviously more about making a statement than anything else, and I think if that's what you're going for, this is not a bad shoe to grab. I mean, probably not many people will have this because I'm assuming it's a limited sneaker. I mean, most of MSCHF's shoes are usually pretty limited, and this is a head turner to say the least, and it makes you a little bit taller. Like, I would say probably an extra 1.5 inches, 2 inches. So if you're short, you want to gain a couple inches in your shoes, this is not a bad way to go either. So it is actually functional in a couple more ways than just walking. There you go. But again, this shoe is wild. This is literally the waviest shoe I've ever seen in my entire life, and I can guarantee that. I mean, maybe in the future there'll be something wavier, but for my last 30 years of existence, this is it. This is the waviest one. But at this point, I would love to know your thoughts on the Wavy Baby Tyga MSCHF collaboration, and whether this is a shoe that you would ever consider picking up, and also if you're grabbing it, what you plan to wear this with, because that's a whole nother question. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. But as always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you all in the next one.